So I've had a lot of questions about this coffee roaster that I have. It's called the Analyze. It uses hot air like a popcorn machine to roast coffee beans. So I've had a lot of questions about it, so I'll try to answer some of them. I am by no means an expert in roasting coffee. I'll show you my process and how I found this machine works best. So first of all, how much do I usually put in here? Let's see. So this is the lid. This is what holds the chaff. It works pretty well. You still get a little bit of chaff in the hopper with the beans, but most of the chaff gets caught onto this lid here. And how I fill it is I generally fill it. You'll see the hopper on this particular model has maximum, a middle, and a minimum line. I usually fill it right to the middle. I don't fill it to the max. If it's maximum, I tend to get some burnt beans, so it's not circulating well enough. I don't think the fan is really strong enough to move that many beans. So I found doing the minimum, or the medium, works the best. And recently, I used to try and be super precise. I would weigh the beans before I put them in here, but I don't do that anymore. I just am not that picky anymore. I find that I get good enough results without having to be that picky. So that's still too many. Here, I'll take some out here. I'm holding my camera with my right hand, so that's why this is taking longer than it usually would. Usually it's a very simple process. That's about right. Okay. That's about right. So I don't know if you can see it. It's about medium there. Yeah, okay. Okay, now we put the lid on here. And it just locks into place. Okay. And now how I use this roaster is lock it in. So this is the power button, the fan button. It's there's 4 lights here, or 3. Let's see, 3 lights, so 3 fan speeds. I just leave it always on full blast. I never touch this. Okay. The things I play with to get the roast that I like are the temperature knob and the time knob. Okay, so what I do is I roast 2 times. First time, I turn the temperature down to 210 degrees Celsius. 210 degrees Celsius. I roast for the preset time on the machine, which is 15 minutes, and then it does a 5-minute cool down by itself. I let that process take place. And then the second time, I'll roast at the preset temperature. I just full blast, roast it for an extra 5 minutes. I'll set the timer to 5 minutes, and then it'll do a 5-minute cool down, and I get, in my opinion, the best results. I get a perfect medium roast. So I'll show you how I do it. So you can hear now that the machine is quite loud. That's why I roast outside. So this is my patio. That way I can keep it quiet in the house. And I don't need to watch this machine. I'll just leave it to finish its process. And I'll come back when it's done. Purely for the sake of this video, I'm coming back to check on the machine for you guys. I generally don't come and look at it. I wait till it's done. So how much time do we have here? So we're about halfway through. 7.5 minutes. This is the roast level we're at. It's like a light roast right now. We'll come back in about 7 minutes and I'll show you how it goes into its cooling phase. The real beauty of this machine is that the hot air roasts the beans and at the same time circulates the beans. It keeps them moving constantly. So as long as you don't overfill it, I find, as long as I don't overfill it, I find I don't get burnt beans. And I get a very consistent roast from bean to bean. So this is a really good idea. So I know some of you might have tried the popcorn roaster, popcorn popper machine. I did that too, works really good. It's a really cheap way to roast coffee beans, but it's also really easy to burn them. So this machine really, it takes all the work out of the process for me. Like I said, I just turn it on and I go do other things and come back when it's done. Okay, let's go check. It should be going into its cooling cycle. The sun's coming out here. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but the fan does regulate itself, the fan speed. So like, you can control it with the fan button, but I find it regulates itself anyway. So you'll hear it go into high speed right now when it goes into cool mode. Cool. So 5 minutes. Blows the ambient air through the beans, cools them down nice and quick. And this process also gets all the chaff, most of the chaff, off the beans and into this upper hopper, which is quite hot, so be careful. Okay, so in about 4 minutes it'll be finished and the little beeper will go off letting me know, and we'll come back and check the results. Okay, the machine just finished. Sorry, I didn't capture the final 5-second countdown or anything like that. I don't know why I put this music stand here. It was supposed to hold my phone, but I found that it's easier to hold it with my hand. Okay, so see that? It's cool enough, like it still feels warm, but it's cool enough that I can touch the hopper. So the cooling process works really well. Now, what am I going to do with this? You might remember at the beginning of the video I said I roast 2 times. Why is that? I don't know if you can see it, but if you look at the beans, the exterior of the beans, there's some color issues, like they're not completely roasted through. There is some chaff on them, but some of the chaff has not come off. Like you see that kind of ugly bean there, and that's why I do it again. So I just leave the hopper the way it is. I don't empty it because not a lot more chaff is going to come off of these. So this time you'll notice I just leave the temperature where it is, where the preset is when you turn the machine on. Yeah. Set at 15 minutes. Now I change the time real quick to 5 minutes. Okay. And I think it roasts at 230 degrees. Or 240, I can't remember now. We can check, we can just do this. Yeah, 230 is its preset. So I just leave it there for 5 minutes. And it'll take care of those funny looking beans and it'll roast it right through. And it'll look real nice. Let's come back when it's all done. Okay, it's done. Let's go out and check what I've got here. Okay, you see the beans are a lot more even. Let's take them out of there. First things first, let's get this off of there, nice and, see, it's full of chaff and a bunch just fell into the beans. So what I normally do is I open the screen and I just blow it out of there. It's just a little bit anyway. Just like that. Blows down into the trees below. Let's check out what we got here. Yeah, it's a very even roast. I don't know if the camera's picking it out. There's one sort of darkly roasted bean, but it's not burnt. And I find that with this roasting method, I get the best results, most consistent results. And yeah, so that's this roaster. If you have any questions, suggestions, let me know. Thanks for watching.